we are back at Cockfosters, ready to do the next section of the loop to Enfield Lock. So, it's a great day for walking, not too hot, not too cold, should be dry. But first, let's go and get breakfast. And almost immediately after leaving Cockfosters, we're back in the countryside. And this is now the meadows of Trent Park, which we're going to be in for the next few miles. It's meadows and woods, according to the book. So as we go back into the woods, past the little cafe and play area, we've just seen the information sign about Enfield Chase, which apparently was a royal hunting ground for many years and was ultimately sold off for private land, owned by Sir Philip Sassoon, more about which we'll hear later. Just glimpsing through the trees here, we can see what's left of the Victorian mansion that was the residence of Sir Philip Sassoon in the 1920s. He died in 1939 and it became a centre for high-ranking prisoners of war equipped with listening devices, so British intelligence officers could hear about German plans. After that it became a teacher training college. Then it became the main campus of Middlesex University with lots of add-ons, and I think it looks now like they're redeveloping it, I believe, for residential use. So we've just deviated a little from the loop to come and have a look at the water gardens planted by the aforementioned Sir Philip Sassoon in the 1920s. And back into the woods to find our way to the top of Camlet Hill. So here we are, we've deviated a little to have a look at Camlet Moat near the top of Camlet Hill, and as you might expect, they built a settlement here, generally one house and some outbuildings, and they surrounded it with a moat which survives to this day. They think it's from around 1357, and I guess the house would have been on the other side of the moat where all those trees are now. So here is the obelisk, which we were told was worth a detour. Certainly a big obelisk erected in memory of the birth of George Grey, Earl of Harold, son of Henry and Sophia, who were the Duke and Duchess of Kent at the time, and the time was 1702. And I suppose it's difficult to know the relationship to the house that you can see down there, which, as I told you previously, was originally Victorian, but maybe there was something there before it, so they could look up at this obelisk. Or maybe the obelisk was just an obelisk, all on its own. I don't know. So we're just walking now beside Salmon's Brook, and this part of the loop follows something called the Jubilee Way, which is a local path, funnily enough, set up to commemorate the Queen's Jubilee, but it's also going to be part of the Enfield Greenway, So we're going to walk along upgraded paths for some of the way, I suspect, as part of that new Enfield Greenway. Well, that's very, very good of them. Just left the Greenway, walking along this convenient path left by one of the diggers making the Greenway, I suspect. And no apologies for not taking the overgrown path just to my left, which is the official route of the loop. Interesting to see how they build a path. We're now on firmly compacted stone and tarmac, whereas previously we were walking on loose hardcore. So this is presumably the layer they put on top of the hardcore. And here we are, open countryside, 3 miles from Cockfosters tube station, which is around half an hour from the City of London. Okay, down this road. We're now on the outskirts of Enfield with bus stops and all the other stuff. But in a minute we're going to turn away again back towards the countryside. And I don't think I'll go that way. We'll go the other way. And here we have Turkey Brook, another tributary of the Lee. Some call the Sacred River Lee. Like Salmon's Brook, which we've now left. And we're going to be seeing Turkey Brook on and off for the rest of this walk. Here's the aptly named Red House. I don't know anything about it other than it's the Red House and it's red and it's rather splendid. And under the railway line and onwards to Clay Hill, where the map says there's a pub. Here's the Turkey Brook again, looking very spick and span in this newly renovated bit of footpath. Yes. Well, the Rose and Crown. I can thoroughly recommend that to thirsty loopers. Lovely old pub, 300 years old according to the guy behind the bar. Nice pint of Timothy Taylor landlord. So on we go, last 3 miles to Enfield Lock. of a sudden we come across this lake. Apparently it's all that's left of Elsing Palace, which was a palace that was near here, but no traces left. So now it's just a good place to fish. Still following the Turkey Brook. I can hear traffic ahead, and that's because there's a big road to cross, the A10. And fly tipping is alive and well in this part of North London. I honestly don't know how people can do it, but there you go. And here we have Ermine Street, now known as the A10, London to Lincoln Roman Road, formerly known as the Great Cambridge Road. We're just going across this and hopefully back into a bit of peace. So it's now going to be this semi-urban and urban walking to the end of the section at Enfield Lock station. Different sort of pleasantness. So I'll see you in a few minutes. Still walking along the Turkey Brook down this fairly busy residential road into Enfield. And out into Albany Park. Final little bit of greenness before the end of the section. So there we are, just come to the end of section 17, and we're going to walk to Enfield Lock station back to London. So this has been a particularly good section, I think. Lots of variety. I've really enjoyed it, hope you have, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Bye for now.